Harold de Lasswell was leading American political scientist and communications theorist. He was a professor of law at Yale University. He developed his model in 1948.
The model of Harold Lasswell's dating back 1948 is based on the definition of an act of communication. That's why it's also called the 5W questions. So there are 5 components of Harold Lasswell's. The first is the who. These questions pertain to the sender or source of the message. It underscores the importance of identifying and understanding the communication rule in shaping the message. The second question that has to be answered to is says what. The content of the message itself takes center stage here. Lasswell's model emphasizes the significance of information, ideas, or emotions being conveyed to the audience. The third question that has to be answered to is in which channel. The medium or channel through which the message is transmitted holds relevance. Lasswell recognized that the choice of communication channel influences the reception and impact of the message.
The next is to whom. It describes the individuals to whom the message is delivered. It is also known as the receiver of the communication process. The receiver is the audience who receives the information. With what effect illustrates the output of the message. It also validates whether the receivers comprehend the message or not. Sometimes the sender cannot persuade the audience due to communication noise, faulty channels, and lack of speaker capability.
The Lasswell communication model is a linear model of communication, which is one-way process that describes verbal communication. It consists of 5 components: who, say what, in which channel, to whom, with what effect. These components are based on the W question, providing insight into the communication between people. The model is considered one of the most influential communication models.
We will be discussing the advantages of Lasswell communication model. Despite its simplicity, Lasswell communication model offers several advantages that make it a valuable tool for understanding the dynamic of communication. So here are some of the advantages of the communication model. First is historical significance. Lasswell model holds historical significance as one of the earliest formalization of communication theory. It was developed in 1940s and provided a foundational framework for understanding the communication process, paving the way for a more complex model that emerges later. The second is clarity and simplicity. The model's straightforward structure and concise formulation make it easy to grasp, especially for beginners in the field of communication studies. This simplicity allowed a basic understanding of the key elements involved in the communication. The third is guided analysis. The model provides a clear framework for analyzing the communication process by breaking down communication into 5 key elements. It helps identify and examine the different aspects of communication, such as the source, message, channel, receiver, and the effect. The fourth one is foundation for understanding. Lasswell's model serves as a foundational concept upon which more complex communication theories and models have been built. It provides a starting point for understanding communication and allows for further exploration for more nuanced and sophisticated concepts. The next one is introduction of key concepts. The model introduces learners the key concept of communication such as sender, message, channel, receiver, and effect. These concepts are fundamental to understanding how communication works and are applicable across various communication contexts. The next one is focus on sender and message. The emphasis on the sender, the message content, and the intended audience encourages awareness of the importance of crafting effective messages tailored to specific audience. This focus highlights the role of the communicator in shaping the message and considering the recipient's perspective. And the next one is application in media analysis. The model is particularly relevant for analyzing mass media and political communication. It helps identify the source of information, the message being conveyed, the channel used, and the intended audiences, and the potential effect of the message in society. And the next is teaching tools. Lasswell's model is commonly used as an educational tool to introduce students to the basic concept of communication theory. Its simplicity and clear structure make it an effective tool for explaining the fundamentals of communication. The next one is communication planning. The model can aid in the planning and execution of communication strategy. By considering the 5 elements of communication, the communicators can develop more effective strategy for teaching their target audience. The 10th one is understanding communication effects. By focusing on the effect of communication, the model highlights the importance of assessing how messages influence audiences. This focus encourages communicators to think about the potential impact of their message and to consider how their communication can be used to achieve the desired outcomes. And the last one is versatility. While the model is often associated with mass communication and political communication, its basic principle can be applied to various forms of interpersonal, group, and organizational communication. The core element of communication, which is sender, message, channel, receiver, and effect, are present in all forms of communication, making the model applicable across different contexts.
Linear and one-way. Linear and one-way is a light fluid communication from speaker to receiver. Wala na interaction niya nagaganap. Limited feedback. Limited feedback. Wala na included feedback hit audience or unrespond as speaker. Oversimplification of the message. Oversimplification of the message. Masyado nga simple nga message. Pero considering kung paano ma-interpret hit iba-iba nga tao ang message based at era personal experience. Neglect of noise. Neglect of noise. Para i-mention hini nga model kung paano naapektuhan hit noise it message. Static audience consideration. Static audience consideration. Example, a TV advertisement about hin product nga may napagka-resist hit mga black people. Iba, makikita it nira nga nakakatawa. While iba, nakaka-offend. Then nga model, waray consideration kung paano inihit iba-iba nga tao matataganhin meaning. Lack of cultural context. Dini gineglect kung paano it pagkakaiba-iba hit culture maapektuhan it era pagkakaintindi hit message. Technological advances. Since ini na model nabuo before an internet, wala na i-consider kung paano it modern technology naapektuhan kung paano kita makicommunicate. Inadequate for complex communication. Ini nga model, diri pwede debates nga negotiation. Kaya ini nga model suitable only it's simple and straightforward nga communication. Next is contextual ignorance. Contextual ignorance. Example, in a social conversation, nag-comment kayo sa nga message without fully understanding. In result, nagkamay-adahin misunderstanding. Waray ni intindiha ang context han message. Lastly, theoretical underdevelopment refers hit limitation of Lasswell'S model of communication. And that is all the disadvantages of Lasswell'S communication of model.